Does drinking and driving seem like a big deal to you? You've had one drink. You're fine, right? Not in the eyes of the law. By choosing to drink and drive, you can change your life and possibly the lives of others. Consuming alcohol prior to driving your car affects your ability to drive safely, which is precisely why drinking and driving is illegal. And unlike other laws, when you are caught breaking this one, you can expect to pay a severe penalty. I have an 18-year-old daughter, and for that reason, I found it very important to educate myself as well as her on the severe consequences associated with drinking and driving. Picture this. It's late at night, you're driving down the road, and suddenly there are flashing lights behind you. You pull over, things are about to get very serious. Getting pulled over and found to be driving under the influence of alcohol will negatively impact your life in many ways. For starters, you will be arrested and put into custody immediately. In addition to getting arrested and experiencing something very traumatic, you will also be subjected to a sizable financial hardship, which will include legal fees, court-ordered fines, increased auto insurance premiums, as well as the cost and time associated with attending a year-long court-ordered class. Getting behind the wheel of your car after drinking is illegal, and if you get caught, the impact it will have on you will be immediate and long-lasting. It will affect your life on many levels and for a prolonged period of time. Once it's determined that you are suspected of being under the influence, the arresting officer will place your hands behind your back. At that time, you will be made aware that you are under the arrest on suspicion of driving your vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. You will immediately be handcuffed, arrested, and placed in the back seat of a police car, where you will remain until your vehicle has been hooked up to a tow truck and taken to the impound yard. Assuming you haven't involved others, you will be charged with felony, driving under the influence. At that time, you will be transported to the county jail and booked for driving under the influence and any other crimes that may have been associated with your arrest. Here, you will endure approximately 8 hours of processing through the legal system. This process includes getting fingerprinted, having your picture taken, mugshot, and being stripped of all your clothing and personal belongings before being made to wear the mandatory jumpsuit, which is provided to all prisoners at no extra cost. Based on your charges, you will receive a statutory bail amount, which will dictate the amount of money necessary to be released. Most people solicit the help of a bail bondsman, which will allow you to pay only 10% of your total bail amount in order to be released. If you are unable to post a bond in the amount required, you will remain in custody up until your arraignment hearing, at which time the judge can choose to release you on your own, recognizant, or decide that you will remain in custody until the matter has been resolved. You can expect to receive a bail amount in the neighborhood of approximately $25,000 to $50,000, requiring you to pay $2,500 to $5,000 to a bail bondsman, which is non-refundable regardless of the outcome of your case. After being released from county jail, and with having had the experience associated with being arrested by the police officer, you will then have to deal with a very different set of unpleasant circumstances. As a suspect out on bail and facing criminal charges, you will need to either retain an attorney, or if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, you will need to ask the courts to provide you with a public defender. Depending on the circumstances, the complexity of your case, and the choice of your lawyers, you can expect to pay a minimum of $3,000. In addition, if you are convicted, you will be required to pay fines as well as court costs ranging in the thousands of dollars. As soon as your conviction becomes final, you will be contacted by the Department of Motor Vehicles, and depending on the multitude of circumstances and the determination of the courts, you will either have your driver's license suspended for a period of time, or your driver's license will be reinstated with conditional use restrictions attached. Furthermore, once your automobile insurance company becomes aware of your conviction, for drinking while under the influence, you can expect your premiums to increase in the neighborhood of 300% and stay that way for up to 3 years from the date of your conviction. In addition to the courts imposing fines and possibly even incarceration as a result of your conviction, you will also be required to attend and complete a class held once a week for 1 year. The cost of attending this class can range depending on the provider. However, failure to complete all court-ordered classes will result in additional legal issues and potentially more charges being filed. So, as noted, the costs associated with drinking and driving can be very high. Not only will you be put through the traumatic experience associated with being handcuffed and arrested, booked into jail, and processed like any other criminal, but you will also be required to retain an attorney to represent you in court. You will face severe financial penalties imposed by the courts, as well as incur a substantial increase in your auto insurance. Additionally, the Department of Motor Vehicles will impose restrictions on your driver's license for a period of time, as well as require you to complete court-ordered classes. As you can see, drinking and driving is without a question a very expensive crime and one that comes with a very heavy price, not only financially, but personally as well. Thank you.